Recognizing the unemployment situation in the country, the highly youthful demography of our country, and also the shortage in global workforce for technology, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, upon inauguration, mandated and promised that his government will create 2 million digital jobs. And this is the mandate behind the 3 million technical talent project of the Ministry of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy, which today is the largest talent accelerator in the world that is aimed at training 3 million technical talent. On one hand, to drive effective and efficient use of technology, both in transforming government services in Nigeria, but also creating a workforce that can deepen the application of technology across all critical sectors on one hand. On the other hand, is also to ensure that Nigeria can become a net exporter of technology talent to nations globally. And this program, which we launched in November 2023, witnessed about 1.8 million applications from all the 774 local government areas within Nigeria. And we've taken a very unique approach to its implementation by starting with what we call the prototype, which is a very small prototype of 1% of the 3 million targets, which is 30,000 young Nigerians, both young and old, from across all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, focused on training and exposing them to in-demand technology skills, including software development, product development, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, and much more. And for the last 3 months, the 30,000 people that are part of the first cohort have been going through essential training. We've seen tremendous progress in what they've been learning. A lot of these people have produced video shots of their experience so far, and you can find these all over the internet, searching with the 3MTT, particularly on Twitter. And we're now getting to a stage where quite a significant number of these fellows are being placed into jobs as interns all over the country. But beyond that, as we wrap up that first prototype phase, we are now going into a situation where all these fellows will also be participating in hackathons within their states to put what they've learned into practice, working together with their peers, building solutions that can showcase their expertise. And as we continue to wrap that up, we are working with partners to ensure that those of them who want to go the route of entrepreneurship can be supported to kick off their small businesses, to start their technology startups, and hopefully help create a solution to many of the problems that we face in the country that technology can help address. And as we wrap that up, today we announced the launch of the second cohort, which is the pilot phase of this program, about 270,000 new fellows being announced. These fellows will have the opportunity to go through their courses over the next 12 to 18 months. And the goal here is to continue to provide them with cutting-edge, world-class content that they can learn from on the internet, on their own, at their pace, but also tying them up to physical learning locations close to their localities, close to where they live. These learning clusters are based all over the country, some that are being provided by private organizations, while some are being provided by state government in almost all the states in Nigeria. These 270,000 young and old Nigerians will be exposed to modern insights and knowledge on how to build technology solutions, but also how to keep our society secure as well. They will become the emerging talent for the workforce that the world requires to be able to power the application of technology. And we hope that as we continue to invest in them, the president has been very clear. He's asked that we also look at the possibility of providing unemployment benefits to those who qualify within this program. As we continue to build out these opportunities, our goal is to support our people to ensure that we can give them the skill set that they require to participate in the global digital economy. And we understand that as we empower them, we will end up strengthening our ability to deepen our GDP as a country, to deepen the complexity of our economy as well, and ensure that we continue to drive the growth that we want to see in our beloved country, Nigeria.
For the first phase, we were intentional about selecting local governments where we could find applied learning clusters that our fellows could go for in-person meetups. We want to get to the point where across every local government in the country, we have applied learning clusters in all 774 local governments. The very first step when we're going about selection is for us to identify the local governments. We try to identify local governments which are in places where we can find applied learning clusters because physical learning is an integral part of the 3MTT program design, right? So working with our experts and also working with community managers who have recently onboarded into the program, we're able to identify local governments that were either close to urban areas or in towns which are not even urban, but are places where we would likely find a significant number of 3MTT fellows and also training providers and physical centers that these fellows can go to. At the end of that process, after identifying the local governments, the next thing for us was then gender balance. We try to ensure that there's as much representation from both male and female in the 3MTT cohorts. So we take that data and then we ensure that there's a significant gender balance on both sides. Then we proceed to randomization. It is very important for us that the process is as transparent as possible, which is why we then randomize after we've gotten this data. We randomize the entire data set across the different states. The last step in the selection process is then the selection up to a quota. There's a quota system that has been determined ahead of time for the selection across the 1%, 10%, and 100% phase. And as long as we have fellows that have applied who fit the criteria and who fall into the local governments that we have picked, we then proceed to select up to that number. As an example, in Adamawa, we're selecting more than 7,000 fellows as a quota for Adamawa for this cohort. In the last phase, we had less than 1,000. So we're very excited to be increasing this number significantly. In Imo State, we had less than 1,000 people the last batch. For this batch, we have over 6,000 people. In Osun State, we had less than 1,000 people in the last batch. We also have more than 6,000 people in this batch as well. So the numbers also vary based off of an algorithm model for population and economic activity that we have determined in the previous time.
There are 3 cohorts in this phase. Cohort 2 with 60,000 fellows, Cohort 3 with 90,000 fellows, and Cohort 4 with 120,000 fellows. For Cohort 3 and 4 fellows, your onboarding will begin in July and October respectively. But you'll be added to communities where you will get access to free resources, collaborative self-paced learning, and physical meetup with your peers as you await your physical training. For fellows in Cohort 2, we heartily welcome you as your onboarding begins in March. You can proceed to your dashboard to accept your selection. After accepting your selection, you will find resources on your dashboard on how to navigate the 3MTT portal and get acquainted. You will have a 4-week onboarding period filled with activities, and these activities include a general onboarding session on March 7th, thematic webinars, which will help you understand the course you had chosen earlier. And these webinars will be held between March 11th and March 29th. You would also have access to introductory courses that will help you understand your course better. A physical meetup at the end of March to interact with your fellow learners. At the end of March, you'll be asked to confirm your skill, your residence, and more, after which you go into a pool to be assigned a training provider. You'll be matched to your physical training provider by the first week of April. With these activities lined up, what you need to do is check your emails regularly for additional information and links to join your respective communities ahead of the onboarding activities. Now, what to do if you are not selected? For a pool of over 1 million learners who are not selected for this phase, you will not be left out. We will also share access to our online communities where you will get access to online courses, online webinars, physical meetups, as well as peer-to-peer collaborative learnings.
I'd also like to call your attention to the stellar group of community managers that we've made available in every participating state. That's the 36 states of the country and the Federal Capital Territory. These community managers have been carefully selected to support this program and ensure that there's a proper local consideration that is given to its delivery in every participating state. They will ensure that our community of learners in each state are properly animated. They will ensure that we're able to collect real-time feedback on how we can continue to improve on this program. And by doing so, they will ensure that the focus of the program stays on our fellows and their desire to become a global talent that can help to bridge the gap that exists within the technology world today. I'd like to say a special thank you to our partners, IHS, MTN, and the UNDP for putting their weight behind this program. To all of our colleagues within the ministry, and also special shout out to NITDA, the IT Development Agency of Nigeria, for all the work they've put behind making this program a success. We all appreciate you and we thank you for your support. And most importantly, to our amiable president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his support, insight, and leadership in ensuring that this program is properly executed for the benefit of our people. Thank you.